going to go into Form Simplicity, and we are going to start and complete a seller packet today. We'll go here to start a new transaction, and we are going to select among these packets a listing doc, and let's go ahead and do newer than 1978. We're going to put in our street address. I like that North Easy Street. It's already in there. We must have done this a time or two. And we're just going to call this practice. And you can keep your own practice file in your Form Simplicity and do things like this as many times as you'd like. We're going to choose a residential property type. Transaction type is going to be a listing. We've already got our packet selected here for listing docs newer than 1978, and we will click on Create Transaction. Once we've done that, it's going to open the packet, and this packet already has everything that we need in it. It actually has a lot more than we need in it because Form Simplicity is still multiplying the documents within the folders here. So it looks like we have 6 of everything possibly here. I'm going to go ahead and delete down to 1 document per folder, and then we can make better sense of this. We delete those forms, and this is what you should see every time that you do this. Exclusive right to sell agreement, residential, seller property disclosure, doc acknowledgments, and the exclusive buyer agency agreement. We're going to say that this exclusive buyer agency agreement, I need to let you know that is there in the listing packet, because if you are going to represent them in selling their home and in buying a new one, it's important to have that handy. However, you will want to create a separate buyer folder for them. So it's a good reminder, but do create a separate buyer folder for them. In getting the listing, we need these 2 documents. This one, of course, will wait until closing. So the exclusive right to sell agreement, the property disclosure, Arkansas agency, a referral agreement if they're moving out of town, and their info sheet. So let's go ahead and get started on the exclusive right to sell agreement. When you go in, you'll see that this says we represent the seller, and let's just go ahead and call this Ted E. Bear is our seller today, and the address 123 North Easy Street. And the legal lot 15 Happy Subdivision. So you get all of that information in. Then we want to put in the list price. Let's go ahead and say the list is going to be $235,000. You get a starting day, and I like to do our ending day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last day of that month. If I always put my listings as the last day of the month, then I'll know that towards the end of the month I need to check and see if any of my listings are coming up on their expiration. We scroll down, we have a 6% fee for the commission, and we show here, if co-brokerage applies, said fee shall be divided 3% to the listing firm plus 0, and then 3% to the selling firm. That needs to be in. Expired listing conditions. If this expires and within 90 days of that expiration they have not listed with another agency, and a buyer does come forward and say, hey, you know what, I do want to buy that, and the seller says, yes, I do still want to sell it, then this means that they would still pay Smith & Associates. Cancellation is $500 because of our marketing. We need to recoup that if they just decide to cancel. We do want to be able to represent both buyer and seller. We need both of these checked. After that, We are being allowed to advertise on the internet and display the address of the property. If the seller would like a home warranty, this is where you put that. The home warranty can cover the seller for free during the time of listing and could help them with some of their repair costs when the inspection repair addendum comes in. This is where you list anything that is included, if they want to include the refrigerator and washer and dryer. This is where you put things that aren't included, and that might be curtains or any kind of window treatments. Those are the most common. Special conditions, just like in a real estate contract, if something comes up that the contract does not cover, we put that here, and we are good to sign. Brokers, please do not broker anything that does not include all of the contact information. If the contact information is not there and something happens to the list agent and we are unable to get a hold of the seller to help the seller, that creates a bad reputation and a lot of trouble. So that is it for the listing agreement. I'm going to hit close. I'm going to say close without saving because we're not really doing anything with this. The property disclosure, we never write on that. So we're going to select these two and these two. And we're going to go ahead and set up our e-sign. The exclusive right to sell agreement, the property disclosure, Arkansas agency, and the seller info sheet. We click e-sign and we create a new session. And we wait, and we wait. Here we go. And we're going to say new listing, and go ahead and copy in the office manager, and send to all signers at once is not something you do. Send to one signer at a time because you need me to broker it and make sure that everything's okay. Do include yourself as a signer and click this box. It really helps. It sends the final documents as a PDF attachment instead of as a link, and that keeps our computers nice and clean because we can just download directly from our email into Google Docs. So we're going to click next, or the Google Drive actually, and we set up our people. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm doing the whole shebang here, and I am the seller, I am the agent, and I am the broker. Move that forward. Next. And we set up the signing session here. When we get down here, what I want you to make sure of is that you drag a date over. Don't enter it here because that's not when the seller or client signs. It's always best to let the client go ahead and timestamp that themselves. You can drag in the form fields for the other information, and when you get there, you can drag those out to make more room for more letters. That's especially important on email addresses, and especially important when you're setting up signatures that require your broker's email address as well. Anything that you missed in the initial setup, you do have a chance to edit here as well, just by dragging your form field in, or if you missed a box that needed checked, you can drag that over as well during your review time here. Over here, we've got our property disclosure. There's only one thing that I'd like for you to change on that for your sellers to make it easier for them, and that's when you get down here to the date. And I would simply delete all of that and drag the date and time to their appropriate spaces and not worry about all of this here. I would like their names in print. And you're almost done. You're going to drag your signing and dates onto these. And then a form field for each section here for your seller to fill out. And when you're done with that, you'll click Next. And it'll give you a chance to review it again. If you find any mistakes, you can hit Previous and clean those mistakes up. If not, click Next again. And you're welcome to type any message in here that you'd like. And then you click on Finish, and it sends it to your clients to sign. Once it's signed, do make sure that you notify the office, hey, I just sent you a listing, and of course notify our marketing team that it's time to set up photos and video and get all of that done. And that's what I've got for you guys. I hope this helps and is a great reference to you, and I will talk to you later.